Breaking news in Iraq feed, disgraced former Lost Prophets frontman Ian Watkins has died following a brutal prison attack early this morning. He was 48 years old. Of course, Watkins has been serving a lengthy 30-plus year prison sentence following horrific child sex crimes of which he was convicted for. This is not the first time he was attacked in prison. Back in 2023, he was also attacked, but he survived those injuries. Here is what we know about this developing situation at HMP Wakefield, where again, the former Lost Prophets frontman was serving a lengthy prison sentence. According to initial reports, the 48-year-old Watkins was attacked this morning at HMP Wakefield, one of Britain's toughest prisons. Inmates had just been unlocked from their cells when another prisoner allegedly attacked Watkins, slashing his throat. According to reports, his jugular was reportedly hit and he died from massive blood loss at the scene. A source who spoke to The Sun described a chaotic and brutal situation, saying, quote, "He was targeted by another inmate who shanked him in the neck. Guards were nearby and raced to the scene pretty quickly, but there was nothing they could do and they could not save him. It was a horrific scene with blood everywhere and alarms and sirens going off." Now, the entire prison was immediately placed on lockdown with all inmates confined to their cells as police and ambulances swarmed the facility. Now, the official channels have been careful with their words, limited information, but they did confirm a major incident took place. A prison service spokesperson said at the time, quote, "We are aware of an incident at HMP Wakefield, which took place this morning. We're unable to comment further while the police investigate." West Yorkshire police were more direct, confirming a homicide investigation is now underway. A spokesperson said, quote, "At 9:39 a.m. this morning, police were called by staff at HMP Wakefield, reporting an assault on a prisoner. Emergency services announced that the man was pronounced dead at the scene. A short time later, detectives from the homicide and major inquiry team are investigating." Now, of course, Ian Watkins wasn't just any inmate. He was serving a 29-year sentence for a horrific list of child sex offenses he was convicted of back in 2013, and his crimes reportedly only came to light after a drug bust when police searched his home and found what was described as, quote, "overwhelming evidence" that he was a pedophile, according to at least 90 incident photos of children. At the time, Watkins initially tried to claim he was being framed by a crazed fan, but the evidence was undeniable. He eventually pled guilty to most of the charges. Of course, the news immediately destroyed his band, Lost Prophets. At their peak, they were selling over 3.5 million albums, scoring a #1 hit in the US. With their song Last Train Home, his disgusted bandmates immediately broke the group up in 2013, later saying they were horrified by his secret life. They went on to form a new band and distance themselves from that legacy that Watkins had destroyed through his horrific and disturbing crimes. Now, this wasn't the first time Watkins had been attacked in prison. Just back in 2023, he was stabbed and reportedly taken hostage by 3 other inmates at the same prison. He survived that incident, but it made it clear that he was a marked man. And Watkins also had a history of breaking prison rules. In 2019, he was found guilty of illegally possessing a cell phone, which he admitted to hiding inside his own body. He told a court he was forced to hold the phone by other inmates he described as murderers and handy, adding, "You would not want to mess with them." And now it appears that violent prison culture has finally caught up with him for good. Full-scale homicide investigation currently active, and authorities will be working to figure out exactly who is responsible for that attack. So this is the final brutal chapter for the disgraced Lost Prophets frontman. We'll let you know if we learn more information about this developing story, but Ian Watkins will no longer pose a threat to children.